Dear friends, hello everyone. It's me again, TheDeinekoArtem, and in today's video we will have a review of the new Minecraft 1.2.1.6 snapshot. A snapshot of other 25w15a, which has a locator bar added, and new ghasts have finally been added. This is already without mods. This is already in a high-quality snapshot, the version of Minecraft that will be released soon, and many updates that we will talk about today. Well, don't be careful. Subscribe to the channel, click the bell if you haven't done so, but we are moving on to a general review of the snapshot. Let's go. So, dear friends, let's go in order through all the updates that are in this snapshot. The long-awaited snapshot, which we have been waiting for more than a month, because there were pre-releases, then Minecraft version 1.2.1.5 was released, and this snapshot 25w15a already takes us, perhaps, to the next version of Minecraft 1.2.1.6, or perhaps to 1.22. This is unknown yet. The first update is a new locator bar added. To enable it, you need to use the game rule, that is, by default, this locator bar is disabled. To enable it, we enter the command/game rule use locator bar true, and the locator bar is enabled for us. As you can see, such a strip appears, and our experience in Minecraft disappears. But do not worry, the experience is actually there, it is just hidden under this strip. Now, for example, if you play with friends on a server, or if you play there on Hamachi, somehow you have your friend in your world, for example. You will have a dot like this displayed, and when you look, for example, in the direction where your friend is, then you will have a dot like this displayed in the locator bar, and this works with all players. You can also connect other entities, which I will show you today. By the way, if your friend or the player you are looking at, who is displayed in the locator bar, sits on shift, then this dot disappears, and accordingly the locator bar itself disappears. Since I have no one else on the server except McPat, so only one dot is displayed. But if my friend disappears, that is, he sits on shift, or puts some head on his head, then accordingly our locator bar disappears. Here McPat, please put on some head. In general, I will demonstrate absolutely any head. For example, McPat put on Steve's head. That is, by the way, he was Steve and put on Steve's head. And that's it, he disappeared in the locator bar. And he is no longer displayed. If he removes this head, then he appears again. This works with all heads. For example, here he put on the dragon's head. That's it, he's no longer displayed in the locator bar. It's very interesting that players can now be displayed this way, they can hide. Come on, let me throw another invisibility potion at you. Come here for a second. Threw an invisibility potion, that's it. He also disappeared into the locator bar. Very interesting, everything is thought out very cool. I like it. Okay, drink some milk please. And we also added a new command/waypoint list. We can see all these waypoints that are on the server. For example, now our waypoint list is displayed for us only by TheDeinekoArtem. Because now it's only me. Well, I'm displayed because I don't have an invisibility potion. I'm now without one of those listed heads. For example, McPat drank an invisibility potion. He stopped displaying in this locator bar. Now he drank milk. He's displayed again. If we write Machi waypoint list, we will see that we already have 2 points, McPat and TheDeinekoArtem. Accordingly, for him, it is TheDeinekoArtem. A point for me, it is Mastay48. We can also change these points by simply writing the command/waypoint modify. And for example, I want to change the Mastay48 point, which is displayed in my locator bar. We can give a new color to this point, and for example, specify here aqua, black, blue, and generally different colors. You can also use via hex code. For example, write hex, and here simply write the code that you want. For example, here is FF0000. And now this point becomes red for me. Here in the locator bar, I look at my friend, now this is a red point. By default, the point is visible for as many as 60 million blocks. That is, if you fly away by 60 million blocks, if there is further than 60 million blocks, only then this dot will disappear. And you will no longer be able to see people who are in the locator bar. How this will be displayed on servers where many people play, I do not know, but I assume that perhaps there will be many dots. Well, or if the administrator does not turn on this game rule, then the locator bar simply will not be displayed. As for the maps, you may notice that your friend is now displayed on the map. That is, here you can see McPat running, here you can see me standing, and now they have also changed the display of the map itself. You may notice that the map has become kind of blurry, so fuzzy. Perhaps this is due to the fact that shaders special for Minecraft will appear soon, about which I have already recorded a video. You can watch it on my channel. And perhaps this is also related to the fact that the potion textures have also disappeared. If we, for example, go to the inventory and somewhere here we have potions. Unfortunately, I don't remember where they are. Potions, just a second. Here we have potions and food and drinks. And here you may notice that all the potion textures unfortunately have disappeared. And now they are all displayed as a regular potion. And I assume that the map change and the potion change are related to some bug. Or maybe they are related to the fact that new shaders will be added. Now let's talk about the new ghast. This is the most interesting thing, the flying ghast. Some people like them, these happy ghasts, some don't. Now we have two types of new ghast. This is a ghastling. Such a cool ghast, small. That is, as soon as you, for example, find this petrified ghast, put it in the water, you get this ghastling. A small happy ghast. As soon as you tame it, you get a happy ghast. That is, I wrote little happy ghast. Here, that is a small ghast. In fact, it is big. Such a ghast appears for you and you can saddle it. Look, let's figure out where you can find these petrified ghasts. You can get them in two ways. Find them in hell or craft them the following way. You take 8 ghast tears and also take a bone block. A bone block. And in this way, you can simply craft this petrified ghast. I think it's weird, like, why craft it at all if you can just go to hell and find this ghast? There are a lot of them here. You can just calmly fly around hell, and almost everywhere where there are bones, you will find these petrified ghasts. Let me teleport, for example, to this location. You will see that here we have a ghast, this petrified one, and it spawned near my bones. In fact, I didn't have to look for long. McPat, as soon as he entered hell, immediately found these petrified ghasts. And there are actually a lot of them. That is, they are encountered very often. For example, here is another ghast. I did not place them. McPat did not place them here. They spawned here themselves. So yes, there are a lot of them here. Let's go back to our normal world. Teleport to MechPad. Like this. That is, you can either find these petrified ghasts in hell, or craft them using this craft. In order for this ghastling to spawn, a funny little ghast, you need to place the petrified ghast that you found in hell, or crafted, just in regular water like this. And you get a new achievement. Place a dried ghast block into water. That is, you must place the petrified ghast in water, and this achievement is completed, which is called Drink More Water. Now you have to wait 20 minutes, and only after 20 minutes you will have a ghastling like this. There are 4 types of these ghasts. The most common ghast, as soon as you put it in water, it looks like this. After 5 minutes, your ghast becomes a little lighter. Unfortunately, they all became like this for me, unfortunately, these ghasts. Let me show you how you can spawn them. Here they spawn as a regular block. That is, you just write /set block. Write the coordinates where you want these ghasts to spawn, and write dried ghast, and in quotes here we indicate hydration. And we have the first type. That is a ghast like this. Let me show you. This is our first type. We also have a second type. For example, this is already the second level. As soon as you have been there for 10 or 15 minutes, you will spawn a ghast like this in this water. And the last third type, this is such a cheerful, cool ghast. It appears there after 15 or 20 minutes. And after 20 or 25 minutes, you will have this ghastling. That is such a cheerful, cool, beautiful ghast. That's how cool it looks.
In order to get a fun ghast, which you can ride and travel on, you need to take snowballs. Come on, McPat. I'll try to poke at this ghast. I'll demonstrate in general how it works. So, let's go to survival mode and try to do this. Game mode, creative. Let's take a lot of snowballs because in fact for this many snowballs are needed in order to, so to speak, tame this ghastling. So like this, here McPat shows us. Let me show you, for example, on this ghast. In fact, a lot of snow is needed so you can get these snowballs like this and poke at one specific ghast like this and it should grow. McPat has already got this cool ghast and I have one too. If you don't want to look for snow there, tame them the following way. Then you can just wait 20 minutes, another 20 minutes, and you will get this beautiful funny ghast. They will follow you. If, for example, you have snow in your hands, they will follow you. If you have tamed this ghast, then this ghast will always follow you, and accordingly, you will then be able to craft a saddle. That is, not a saddle, but this glass, unsaddle this ghast, fly on it and so on. How are these glasses crafted? Look, in order to craft them, you will need 3 leather, also 2 glasses, and 1 any wool. That is, wool of the color of what color you want to make these glasses for the ghast, for example, which you can then put on the ghast itself, and just take and right click on this ghast. As soon as it goes down a little, we can climb on it. That's it, I climbed on it. So, Macpat, try to climb on this ghast too. I will demonstrate that other players can climb, and so am I. Well, let me climb on this ghast again, and accordingly, this ghast can carry up to 4 people. That is, I can sit as the main person who will control the ghast. Someone can sit on my left, on the right, and behind. That is, 4 people in total. And come on, Macpat, sit on it. Now get up from the ghast. I'll get up. Now Macpat has sat down, so to speak, behind the wheel, behind the controls of this ghast, and it can't move. Yes, Macpat can't control it anymore, because I'm standing. As soon as I get off, Macpat will be able to continue moving and, so to speak, continue to control this ghast. By the way, this texture is very beautiful. By the way, I didn't show you how experience works with the locator bar. For example, when you have the locator bar turned on and you get experience, it will be displayed. That is, like this. For example, you got some experience there, got it, killed someone, so your experience is counted. And the locator bar is also displayed for you. So let me just turn it on, and you don't even need to turn it on because we already have it turned on. Your level is displayed. That is, in my case, for example, and your locator bar is also displayed everywhere. That's where people are near you. Come on, Macpat, sit down on shift again. I'll show you how. You see everything. For example, if there are no people near you, or people have left the server there, or for example, someone is in an invisibility potion, they also change the texture. For the regular ghast, that is, you have a happy ghast, you have a regular ghast. If we go down, everything is completely identical. They just changed, let's say, the face for the ghast. Now the happy ghast smiles. The regular ghast is sad. Well, that is the usual ghast that spawns in hell. It is just such a serious sad. For some reason, these tears were not removed for the cheerful ghast that you have already tamed there, that you can saddle. It is not clear why. Also, as for this ghastling, that is, the ghast that appears after you put it in the water, the texture looks like this. It appears like this. It turns out, I don't know what these are. Girls, I don't know. This is some kind of strange texture on the sides of a red color, and if we go into it, then it is red. This ghast, so I go into it, you see that this ghast, the ghastling, looks like this red color. Thanks to Macpat for freezing our Minecraft. I just showed you and told you about the new achievement. That is, as soon as you, for example, put this petrified ghast in the water, you get an achievement. There's also another new achievement. By the way, let me show you them all. Your first achievement is located here, and accordingly, in order to get it, you need to place this petrified ghast in the water and you will have an achievement. And the second achievement is connected with this new hot block. That is, for example, if you take and break it, it turns out that this hut will spawn in this new biome. By the way, here we have a new biome. I didn't notice it before, but I just noticed that we have a new biome nearby. If you, for example, take this block from the new biome and place it between two new logs, then you will also complete a new achievement. It is in the achievements. You can go to adventures and find this achievement. When we, for example, climb onto this ghast on which we can travel, fly there, if we press F5, then you see that our camera moves away much further. If we, for example, get off the ghast again on F5, then our camera moves away like this, well, about 3 blocks. When we are on the ghast, we move away about 10 blocks. And also through a special attribute called camera distance, we can change our camera distance to F5. For example, let me show you this now. We write the attribute, we write our nickname, for whom we will use this attribute, and we write camera distance, and we set the base value of base set, for example, to 20 blocks. That is, now I can change the distance to F5 to 20 whole blocks in this way. This is how cool it looks. The maximum is 64 blocks. That is, if I, for example, write 10,000, then the maximum is still 64 blocks. Also, an interesting new attribute minus waypoint transmit range. Now we can bind absolutely any entities to this locator bar. For example, you can bind an armor stand like this. The command looks, if you're interested, here you specify the base value, well, in the radius of which blocks you will see this armor stand. For example, I activate, and now we have a new dot of this color, blue, and we can simply track, for example, an armor stand. Here, MacPat came to this armor stand. You see that the red dot itself is displayed here, which we just changed. That is, this is my friend. And also a blue dot of this light blue color, well, birch color. This is this armor stand. A very interesting command waypoint transmit range through binding to the attribute of this armor stand with a tag, for example, TDA. And here we can also specify the distance, that is, the radius of blocks in which this command will work. For example, we can specify 5 here, and accordingly, if I move away by 5 blocks, then this dot will disappear. Invisibility, slowdown potions, now they are all normal colors. And yes, perhaps this is connected with the fact there will be new shaders and so on. But this change is also included in the new version of resource packs. As for the sounds of the desert, now if you place 2 blocks of sand in the following way, and for example, the sky is closed from above, you will still hear the new sounds of the desert, even regardless of the fact that, for example, these 2 blocks of sand will not be above the open sky. For example, you can place 2 blocks of sand in your house and you will hear the sounds of the desert right from your house. This is of course strange, but it works. 14 Moscow time. I don't know what time zone it is and why it's displayed like this, but in fact the video is not recorded at 15:14 Moscow time, and now it's not April 8th but April 9th. Also, if we write the version command, we will see server information on the version. Again, this is the ID. That is our snapshot on which we play, or the version minus this is 25w15a. And again, all the detailed information with the version of resource packs, the version of data packs and so on. Only this is no longer the client part, but the server part. And the last interesting command is datapack create. Now we can write datapack create and create our own datapack directly being in the world. That is, create a so-called data pack template which you can then change for yourself. That is, add some functions there, for example, for this data pack and so on. That is, you just create a template directly being in Minecraft. Data pack create, you write the ID, that is the name of this data pack. Here MacPack also created an empty pack. It is called empty_pack with the name Dear friends, here is such an interesting snapshot 25w15a. I hope you liked it. If so, be sure to like, subscribe to my channel and click the bell if you haven't done so. It was me, TheDeinekoArtem, and Mastay48. Good luck to everyone. Bye bye to everyone, friends.